gotta get the bait. Ain't no need to lag, ain't no need to lag. Yeah, gotta chase the bait, gotta chase the bait. Ain't no need to lag.
What's up and welcome to Lunchtime in the Lab. Let me get my recording started. I'm still trying to work out the kinks of this. I got so many different buttons to hit and stuff now. So definitely bear with me. I want to make sure I got my mic in a different position too. I think it sounds all right. You guys have to let me know how that sounds. Because I don't have it like on the screen anymore, you know, like I could like pull it like down here and like you guys can see it, but like I was trying to keep it like off the graphic like that. So we'll see how that goes. All right, we'll get it cracking though. Appreciate it. Here we go. What's up and welcome to Lunchtime in the Lab, your number one gambling podcast for quick picks. Also live on YouTube. Also decided to go live on Twitch today. I do have a Twitch. Obviously, there's no difference. So trying to do the Tuesday, Thursday on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. And then going live on Twitch on just every other day as just a little sub, you know, trying to grow myself. You know, I do play a little bit of video games too. So if you, you like to watch that stuff, you know, check me out. I got a link in the description here with it's the Beacons link. And then it's, you can take you to Twitch, check out some of that stuff. But all right, today's show brought to you by Beer Money Picks. Up, I lost a unit yesterday. I'm not gonna lie, got to be transparent. Up about 24 units now. What is there? About 8 days left, I think. Actually, I don't even know how many days there are. 5? Maybe it's a leap year, so 6 days left, something like that. My birthday's actually coming up really soon. I didn't even realize actually how close it is. My birthday is right around the corner. But anyway. All caps, Lunchtime gets you 25% off your first month or bi-weekly, whatever you want to do it. Essentially, if you do a month, it comes out to $1 a day. That is a pretty good deal. And what's cool about the new graphics, Jack, I can do this. Thank you so much for letting me know. Work pretty hard on the show, trying to put some stuff together. It definitely takes a little bit of extra time to put some stuff together and everything like that. If you're watching it on the audio version, you guys are missing out. But I appreciate you guys watching over there as well. Today is Friday, 2/23. Before we hop into today's plays, as always, we got to take a look back and see what we did yesterday. Oh, booger. Let's see. Yesterday we had a pretty good day. I think they call that a sweep. Get your brooms out. I fell asleep though. I didn't see D-Lo go over, to be honest. I had a pretty good 30 of the no sweat on FanDuel. I needed 30 points out of Anthony Davis to finish at 27. It was like a plus 930 for the Discord. So a little bummed to wake up and see that we didn't have that cash. But Darius Garland over 23.5 points plus assists. I tell you what, that looked cooked. I think he had 5 or 6 at halftime, but he only took 4 shots. I was talking to somebody in the Discord and they're like, yeah, this is dead. I was like, man, no, he's been timid. If he comes out slinging it, we'll be okay. And we did all right. Porzingis 1.5 threes and the money line was never a sweat, as I said. I tell you what, though, like he hit that first 3 and I was like, man, we're cooking in the first quarter, 2 quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. He hits the second one. He was 1-5 by the time he hit that second 3 there. So I was definitely sweating that one a little bit. That one ended up being a Discord play as well in the VIP. And then D'Lo over 7.5 assists. He did finish at 9. He was 1 short of the double-double, so not too bad there. A nice little 3-0 day for the brand. I didn't put it in the tracker. I don't know what that puts us up as. NBA has been goofy, but today we are going to run with, I got 2 NBA plays and college baseball play. I will say before I get into it, some states don't let you bet on college baseball. Some states are like insanely restricted. DraftKings is the book that you want to get after on for college baseball. FanDuel's okay, but like, for example, like LSU is a minus 2,500 favorite on DraftKings, and on FanDuel it's a minus 5,000. Like DraftKings odds for MLB, odds for even college baseball. I mean, it's just worlds better. So we'll roll with that. And if it's not on there, it's not on there, but trying to mix that in because on the Discord here, we're going to be the VIP, we're going to be heavier with baseball. Man, I tell you what, I almost can't lose in college baseball. So hopefully, knock on wood with that one. We'll fly into it and get some plays today. I think they start at 3:00. So if you're in the Discord, as soon as this one gets over, we'll roll with it. Oh, there's some like random like bot. Some little bot just posted on my Twitter. That's cool. Okay. Let's see here. So to get into the first play here, and like I said, with these graphics, let me know. Like I'm just screenshotting, kind of what I'm looking at to kind of just give you guys something other than looking at my face the whole time. Let me know what you think. If we want to continue to do that, if you can read it, okay. But the first play, and it's kind of a bummer that I'm rolling with this because then I put it in. I had the plays ready before I went to the gym. Gym ended up taking a little longer than I thought. I ran. I had a good run. It was feeling good. Hip was feeling loose. I kind of struggled with a hip issue and took longer. I come back and I'm putting it together and I check on Twitter and it's like, man, everybody and their mother's on Trae Young, but we're going to run it over 24.5. He's over this in 5 straight games against the Raptors. And as you can see from the graphic, this way, as you can see from the graphic here, he's over it in 5 straight games against the Raptors, 30, 38, 35, and 29. All of those have been from this year alone. So it's not one of those like history plays where he's been, it's 10 years out or 5 years on 5 different teams or anything like that. Nah, like he's flown over this line in 4 straight games against them. On the season, he's over this in 54% of the time and 50% of the games. And I talk a lot about how, sports betting is like 50-50 realistically. And we try to have those edges to try to make it, more so or not. Obviously, a plus 100 is 50-50. So to have him hitting this at a 54% clip, and he's hit this in 5 times, straight against the Raptors here, feels pretty nice, like a solid bet. We also have a pretty high total on the board, which is obviously an indication of like a lot of back and forth scoring. Slight blowout fears. The Hawks were one of the few teams that wasn't on a back-to-back. Today feels risky, guys. I'm not going to lie. Yesterday felt like it was going to be weird, and there were some blowouts on a minus. If you got me on Twitter, I was complaining about it. -1.5, we got a blowout. -1.5, we got a blowout. Some of the blowout games weren't blowouts. Should have been blowout type thing. Frustrating stuff. That's the NBA. That's why I think I'm going to be a little heavier college baseball than I will NBA because we do have so many back-to-backs today. But somebody's got to score in a blowout. Trae Young is for sure the main guy there. Without a doubt, Trae Young's that guy. I'm seeing a lot of action on Jalen Johnson too. Okongwu's out. Clint Capella's coming back, but he's going to be on a minutes restriction. Trae Young coming out of All-Star break, he was snubbed. He came out and put up that monster game. Then we turn around and he has, a pretty average, All-Star. He didn't shoot all that well in the 3-point contest, but he's rested, should be feeling good after the All-Star activities and ready to just come out, guns blaring, guns blazing or whatever. So our first play here, Trae Young over 24.5 points. Before we get into the second play, I see I got a handful of people watching. If you guys could do me a favor, smash that like button for me if you could. I don't know how the algorithms work with YouTube or anything like that, but go ahead and hit that like button. I'm sure as hell I bet that helps. Hit that subscribe button for me if you haven't yet either. I'm at like 360 something. Man, we're pushing 400. Once I hit 400, all of a sudden we're pushing 500. Then we're on our way to 1,000. Want to continue to grow. And, as I see more members and I get more views, it's certainly just a little more of an incentive to have an audience instead of talking to yourself or anything like that, So I got 16 people watching on 2 platforms. I don't know if anybody's watching on Twitch. If you're watching on Twitch, shoot me a message outside of that bot that I had. Just say, hello, sorry for bothering you. Like, whatever, dude, get out of here. D-Rock, I don't know if you're still around, but check out my guy, D-Rock. I missed this. If you're in the Discord, D-Rock Sports Bet, first off, give him a follow on Twitter. Follow him on. He's got a TikTok, everything like that. As he is typed out on here on YouTube is how he is in the Discord, how he is on Twitter. The guy has absolutely been killing it in college basketball. We do some college baseball and basketball collabs on occasion. So definitely check out my boy there. And then what's that? Crypto, you were 1 Luka rebound from smacking a plus 15,000. That one hurts. And they pulled him early too. I mean, the game was over, but man, what if he would have stayed in, All right, anyway, let's get to the second play. Second play is going to be Jimmy Butler over 10.5 rebounds and assists. Ooh, let me change my little thing here. There's the graph behind if you want to check her out, what I'm looking at. He's over this in 6 of his last 7 games. Within that, in his last 2 games, he's had 16 and 22. Most recently, he just had a triple-double last game. His triple-double odds plus 6,500, plus 5,000. For a triple-double, he just did it. His double-double was a plus 500. Like maybe my double-double little parlay sprinkle I do. That was actually pretty dang close yesterday. Trey Mann didn't do anything. D'Lo was 1 short. I was going to put Garland on there, and he didn't. Shout out my guy D-Rock, though, real quick. Up 20 units in college basketball just this week. Whew. Sheesh. That's crazy. The Pelicans are giving up the 7th most assists in the league to small forwards. There's a bit of a trend here, though. The play is, if you look at the graph, I mean, he's been doing this. He's been doing this great. He was on a 4-game streak, went under, smashed it in the 2. But there's a little bit of a trend with the 2 that I kind of want to look at, and that's what we're attacking is the trend. It's a short sample size. It's only 2 games, but this is what we're going to run. The trend lately is that it seems like he's only playing like 4, 5, 6 minutes tops in the first quarter, and then he sits. Then it's up to Hero. It's up to Bam. Like those main guys are running the offense with the first unit. He sits for a while. He might sit the rest of the first quarter. He comes in the second quarter, or he comes in late first quarter. Those guys sub out. Bench comes in. Jimmy comes in. Now Jimmy is running point with the second team is what had been happening in these games where he's been, when he had the 16 and he had this 22, Jimmy is essentially running point with the backups, running point with like the bench. So then obviously he is more available to catch, get the rebounds, as there isn't another big, like Bam's not on the floor. So Jimmy's one of the taller guys on the court. And then if he's running point, then he's going to have a higher potential assists, throughout everything. And then honestly, like anytime I take Jimmy Butler, like the guy's not really a scorer for me, unfortunately, so he's the type of guy that's going to, he's going to rebound. He's going to dish the rock. And like I said, they're giving up the 7th most assists in the year so far to small forwards. And if you look at the last 7, I think they're actually they've given up like the 5th most or something like that. I didn't take the note, kind of just a mental note on it there. But second play is going to be Jimmy Butler, over 10.5 rebounds and assists. If you're in the Discord, I did pop this one in a little earlier. I did see a little bit of live movement. We got this one at -115. The bets I put out are all to win 1 unit. So I don't know what it's at now. I would probably take it up to 11.5. I bet it might move up 2 by the end of the day. 10.5 though, looking awesome. So we'll roll that one. Last one, I'm sorry. I don't have a graphic for it. We're going to get into some college baseball. Like I said, college baseball, it's hard to bet on, hard to track. But we are going to run with Iowa money line against Auburn. All right. Iowa's 4-1 or 3-1. I have a note on it later on, so we'll skip that part. All right. So anyway, Iowa's throwing Brody. I guess is how you pronounce it. Brody Brecht. Brody, the surfer baseball player. Brody in his first start had a no decision. So, he didn't win, he didn't lose. So when he was taken out, they were either losing or they were tied, is how that works. And then if he was winning and they gave up, the lead throughout the time, that'll go to a no decision as well for those of you that aren't familiar with baseball. Speaking of baseball, if you're watching this on a recorded version, you're in the live or something like that, as we move into baseball, I almost feel like it might be beneficial to have like a little baseball betting 101, as there certainly are some goofy rules with it. Like people get so confused on total bases. People are betting like to win or what action means versus betting a money line or money line plus action. So you have to let me know in the comments or something if you think that might be useful. I've been kind of thinking about doing like a gambling school like type thing anyway. I just haven't really got around to it or kind of had like too many ideas. So I think that might be a pretty good idea. If you guys have anything, if you've made it this far, you've listening, whatever, shoot me a comment on YouTube. Hit me up in DMs on Twitter, anything like that. X, whatever the hell you want to call it now. Let me know if there's something that always kind of bothers you, if there's something you don't understand, and then maybe I can try to put together like a short 3 or 4 minute, kind of like video on it, I guess. That way I can kind of have some long-standing content instead of just like these lives. Maybe I'll tweet about that afterwards. Anyway, he had a no decision. He had a 2.08 ERA, which is pretty low, pretty good for college. Against a Seton Hall team, though, Seton Hall, that is pretty good. Their only loss was to Iowa. So they've gone out there and they beat everybody else. Iowa is a ranked team. Auburn's throwing Chase Alsup, who went 4 innings, gave up 5 hits and 5 runs to an 0-4 Eastern Kentucky. I'll tell you what, though, in that game, Eastern Kentucky, EKU scored 6 runs. Auburn put up like football numbers. I mean, it was like, I think we're talking like it was 16-6. It may have been higher than that. College baseball sometimes gets into those football type numbers, right? By 7s. And so obviously like those earned runs, didn't matter in that game, but Like, he can't do that with Iowa. And he gave up that many runs against the Eastern Kentucky team that obviously is 0-4, that hasn't been really winning, that hasn't really had like the bats or anything like that against another matchup. In baseball, like, baseball is so hard. Iowa's the away team here. I don't think this is part of a tournament. So and when on DraftKings, it'll tell you if it's like a neutral site or something like that, which is kind of nice. In baseball, anything can happen. But, first and foremost, you have to attack the starting pitchers. These pitchers are going to go 4 or 5 innings, sometimes less, sometimes more. If you have a shutdown pitcher and then running into Iowa has the better bullpen, they have the deeper bullpen, they have the better bats. It's a solid matchup and a pretty even, spread here in college baseball when you're seeing, like I talked about, LSU's a minus 5,000 favorite today. You don't get these like pick'ems very often. I would say Iowa, if they were at home, would probably be favored in this matchup. Auburn, probably getting a little love because they've just been piling on the runs. But I like Iowa to win here. And here it is here. So Iowa's dropped just one game so far, looking to make it 4-1 today. So we're going to run with the Iowa money line to wrap it up there. And that is all we've got for today. So let me pull this back in here to recap for February 23rd of Lunchtime in the Lab. We're going to run with Trae Young over 24.5 points, Jimmy Butler over 10.5 rebounds and assists. And we're going to wrap it up with Iowa money line against Auburn there. That's sitting at about minus 115 or so, depending on where you get it. Would recommend looking at DraftKings, as FanDuel's odds are honestly just pretty terrible for it, to be honest. As always, I'm your host. Lunchtime in the Lobby brought to you every day. We're looking at 10:30. I'm doing my best to try to stay consistent with it, trying to stay at 10:30. Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to follow me on all those social medias at Live Joe Bets. Like I said, I got a link in the description on the YouTube, Twitter. If you're watching, there's a link in there somewhere. Watch on a recorded version. Man, you guys can find it everywhere. Thanks so much for listening. Like I said, if you are still in here, I can see 20 people watching, which is fantastic for a Friday. I can't wait to see what a Saturday is going to look like. We've been getting a lot more watchers. That's not the word, but I can't think of what viewers maybe is what I'm looking for. But appreciate you guys. Like I said, hit that sub button, please. Hit that like button for me, please. I'm gonna hop out of here, throw this intro, and I'll see you guys back tomorrow.